Hi everyone. So you've inherited a stamp collection. Now today what I'd like to do is just run through some of the first steps you should take if you are in that position of inheriting a stamp collection to enable you to decide what to do next. Now first and foremost, look after your collection. Store it somewhere safe, in a dry place, not in an attic. Keep it away from sunlight, so make sure it is looked after as the collector before looked after it. Now, the next thing you need to do is to make the big decision, and that big decision is, do you keep the collection or do you sell it? Now, for those people who choose to keep a collection, normally for two reasons. The first could be it has sentimental value to you. It may be your father built this collection, and particularly for lower value collections, it will likely always have more personal value to you than financial value. The second reason can be that this is your introduction to take up stamp collecting. It's quite a common way people first get involved in the hobby is when they inherit a collection. And before you know it, you have the collecting bug and many years of enjoyment ahead. Now, I'd say the vast majority of people, however, come into the camp, which is this collection has some sentimental value. But if it could pay off my mortgage, maybe I'm not so sentimental after all. So you'll want to get some idea of value, and you should really do this in any case for insurance purposes. So the first thing you should really do is to organize this collection and have a look through it. So see what's in the collection, sort it into its order. It could be multiple albums. Put it into some sort of order so you know what you have. Have a look through the albums that you have. There's some simple things you can do to assess whether it may have value. The simple rule is that if you have very old stamps and they are in excellent condition, particularly if they have no postmark on them and all original gum is on the back, then there's a good chance this is a valuable collection. If the collection looks like it's all modern stamps, then in all likelihood its largest value is if you use those stamps to stick them on envelopes for postage. That's the most value it'll ever have. Now, don't think that volume equates to value. 1,000 stamps that are worth a penny each are not worth anything. Now, you may have old stamps that aren't in great condition, but that is sometimes worth looking at because for the very rarest of stamps, even poor quality examples have some value. Now, just to give an example here, this is a collection of US stamps that we've taken hold of recently, and as you can see, there are old stamps in this, but they're used and therefore not necessarily very valuable, but it is definitely worth getting that checked out based on their age. The next thing really is to look at the internet. The internet is an incredible source of information nowadays, and the simple tip I can give you really is if you see some stamps in an album you think may have value, take scans of those stamps and then go into Google Images, upload the image of a stamp into Google Images and search, and a whole range of images should come up. If you click on the links against those images, that will take you through to pages where you'll probably get some idea of whether it could have some value. Bear in mind though, this is obviously a very, very crude means of valuation because the internet can't tell you what the condition is of your stamp, and generally that is the most important aspect of its value. The other thing you can do, which I would suggest you only do if you really think there's value in your collection, is you can buy stamp catalogues. Which catalogues you buy really is all down to what's in your collection. So I would say if it's a US stamps collection, you would go with Scott catalogues, the market leader for US stamps. For European stamps, such as Belgium, France, Spain, etc., I would use Mikkel. And China would be Chan catalogues, are the market leader there. And for everything else, really, Stanley Gibbons have been producing catalogues for hundreds of years and are a very reputable source of information on value. But a lot of people find it quite difficult to find stamps in these catalogues when they haven't got any experience, so do bear that in mind. And also, a catalogue value doesn't mean that that's what your stamp is worth, because a catalogue value is for a very fine quality example poorer quality examples can be worth a fraction of a catalogue value. So having done all this, you now need to think about getting an initial valuation from a dealer. Now, how you select your dealer is really all about what kind of collection you have. If, for example, you have a collection of German stamps, you wouldn't go to a British stamp dealer and expect them to give you the best price, nor be the best qualified to give you a valuation. So clearly you would go to a German stamp dealer. If you think that you have very rare stamps, you need to find a dealer that deals in rare stamps. And you can do this through a simple Google search. You can then search on the dealers that you find to find out more about them. Go to their website, ignore the marketing gibberish, which will be something along the lines of, we give you the best value for your collection. Everyone says that. That is something that you should pay a little attention to. What you should really be looking at is, what does this dealer sell? Now, if you look at their stock holding in descending order, you'll see whether they trade in rare stamps. And if they do so, then they are qualified to value your collection. Now, you wouldn't take a Rolls Royce to a backstreet car dealer now, would you, for a valuation? And the same applies in the stamp world. Now, don't write off the small dealer. If you have an all-world collection, the small dealers are absolutely the best to do that. They are general practitioners in their field of stamps, and they know something about everything, and they value all world collections day in, day out, and have been doing for many, many years, and will probably give you the best price. The next thing I would say is, don't rely in just one dealer's valuation, because clearly, whilst almost all dealers are genuine and good, there are the odd shark, so it's best to get a second opinion just to make sure. The final point I would make in all this is what comes next, which is that you'll contact a dealer. The dealer will then say, send us some scanned images. We'll give you an idea of valuation straight away. If they're interested, they will then either come to your house, perhaps not at the moment with the coronavirus, or they'll ask you to send the stamps to them, and then they'll do a valuation. And if they're interested, they'll let you know. So, just to recap, when you get a collection, first thing you need to do, make sure you look after it and store it properly. Then organize it into some form of order, do some of your own research, then contact at least 2 dealers to get an initial valuation. Now, that's all for this video, but watch out for my next video, where I'm going to go into far more detail on how you can sell your collection, the different options available, and most importantly, how to ensure you get the best price. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you stay safe and stay well. Thank you.